breaks the spine of even the water's most bitter edge. How ultimately we are sand. We are sail and we are tide. We, an idle fisher, bound and tethered as a buoy. Together we pull on the rope, a tug, a small town token. We form together a bruise, a swell of new boat fish. We affix our eyes to the half moon, ask the brute city lights, please let us go. This is called Does Anyone Have the Tabs to This? Which is built from the comment section of the YouTube film 1 Hour Burning Logs in Fireplace, which is, as it sounds like, it's 1 hour of burning logs in a fireplace. Words were taken, fragments were taken, make other sentences, stuff, boring stuff. And it goes like this. Does anyone have the tabs to this? If that fire was a potato, it would be a great cat. I can't believe they don't let you make snowflakes. The best part of this laughed after burning wood when the person's hand came onto the screen. I'm surprised how many people remove the spaces. Stop throwing wood at it. Oh my fucking God, I just had a heart attack. I'm literally crying right now. Everyone, that's mental. I'm touching the fire and it doesn't even hurt. I keep throwing marshmallows at the screen, but nothing happens. Why do I keep watching this? I find this difficult to masturbate to. I actually searched this because I felt cold. This is called This Never Happened. I'm not really a fan of explaining poems. That's okay with you guys. I'm not that great at it. I'd rather just read. I'm just going to fly through. Can I keep going, man? Okay. This never happened. These raised areas of rifling are known as lands, the invention of mine balls, the low cost of ammunition. A soft tissue becomes a kind of tracer when wet or peeled. An architectural structure designed to contain a fire, heat from periodic burning. Glass panels over the bed provide a clear view to consumption. Modern law dictates we cannot simply be put to sleep. This process is known as running. Americans drink heavily when the rum is cheap. A tavern, a gambling den, the loose teeth of brothels. They are not shed separately, but as a complete outer layer during each molt, akin to a sock being turned inside out. Matt, you want to pop up here really quick? I'm going to do something. We haven't really done this, but there's this poem. I just told you I wasn't going to explain poems, and here's where I do it anyway. This is kind of two poems. It's really sort of the poem, and it's really sort of the footnotes to a poem. And I never know whether I'd like to read it as two poems or as one poem. So what I'm doing is I'm going to getting my man Matt Specht here, and he's going to be the voice in my head as I read footnotes. Yeah. If they ask, it was a Whole Foods summer, and dirty is an abstraction to which we owe no allegiance.
If they answer, you will say you dialed the number in error. If they whisper, you will dim the lights and amplify the denominator.
Blunt objects rain down in tides from photographs of picnic blue and rafters. The circuit-bent stridulations of eavesdropping angels incite the air.
Even hammers are sharpened objects when thrown by a steady hand.
If they ask, action will be the word I will use to describe the way we listened.
I speak bone dominoes when the summer spills, when tiny ghosts lay hidden in the receiver again.
Oh, Karen, he said, if this isn't fun, I just don't know what is.
Time travel is inefficient, she said. I think you're breaking up.
Thank you, Matt. Matt was asked to do that at like 6 this morning. I emailed him and said, hey, you want to do this? All right, this is a little long one. It's called On the Containment of Common Household Fires, which was originally written to a prompt. And it goes like this. I listen as the grass greens. This is the part of we throw up. Multiple scenarios in the sink again. I pull at the rubber stopper, follow the fastest one down. The consonants in my name, how they pour through the grate, how they reverberate between the walls of its copper throat and drown. I speak as if I am the echo in here. I am always the last to know there is a fire, I say. She wonders aloud whether we have dreamt ourselves as rain in the alternate ending. I had a feeling she would say that. She says it every time the place bursts into flames. And then these firemen, when their heavy hoses scratch valleys through the front yard, how she is bent down and waving, sequenced and long-robed, screaming into the bottom of a bottomless well. I don't explain why it all seems funny at the time. I seldom trust myself enough to breathe. I am afraid of men in hats, I say. She is distant, but readily agrees. The neighbors link arms in prayer on the opposite side of the street. One says to another, the other in full agreement, he says, "This one is so much better than the last, don't you agree?" And the one of which he is speaking is the one after which she had told me, she said, "Surely it must get better than this." And now this man, he is saying that it has. When the neighbors begin to sing, they will picture us still inside. Electric arms like phonographs, laughing, wild, and shooting sparks into a faceless night. Sifting rubble for strangers, the way the summer air sticks like confetti to our skin. How am I, Nick? I keep asking. Yeah, no, time-wise. Do you want like a couple more? What do you want?
Yeah.
I'm going to read a couple of things here. You can't tell whether it's funny or depressing, right? All right. This is written for a friend of mine on his birthday, a Chicago writer named Ben Tanzer, who I sometimes write things about because I like to make him feel very uncomfortable in a friendly way. This is called On the Morning of Ben Tanzer 2012, Notes from a Fortune Telling. You wake to the sight of an antique mirror decorated with photographs from a party at a house to which you have never before been. In one photograph, you are seen holding a large, expensive elephant over your head. You are certain the name of his elephant is Fancy Dan, though you are certain also that you have never before met. In another photograph, you are standing in a front room hallway, greeting partygoers who are dressed as miniature horses, Craig Finn, and possibly Sting. Along the bottom of the photograph, the words, Ben Tanzer greets guests who are dressed as miniature horses, Craig Finn, and possibly Sting appear, though you are mostly certain you knew that before reading them. In the last photograph, from the bottom right-hand corner, a man holds a camera pointed in the direction of the man of the hour. You move your head. The wall behind you appears. On this wall, backwards in your view, is a banner produced using a dot matrix printer in the summer of 1986. You do not recognize anything else on this wall. The banner reads, "Happy birthday, Ben Tanzer. Your future is every possible connotation of the words hand and grenade." In a deleted scene, you hear the sound of a familiar car horn. That kid from the Mr. Microphone commercial says he has returned to pick you up as promised. You note the opening percussion from the Peter Gabriel song In Your Eyes a moment later. Lloyd Dobler, you ask? This is how Molly Ringwald must have felt in Pretty in Pink. All signs point to yes. I'm going to do one more, which is written also for a birthday. This is what I give people for their birthday. This is written for Ryan W. Bradley, who's the co-author for the book. Throwing that in there. It's called The Moon, the Sun, and Ryan W. Bradley. Not quite a fortune teller. Two foul dogs negotiate for security clearance and film rights to the moon. You walk by without breathing, fearing what you've heard about the terribly taunting humor of foul negotiating dogs. Maybe I'll just use the alley entrance, is what you say, as one of them stops to notice you there passing. An awkward silence follows the exchange. You make your way around the closest corner you can find. These fucking writers, one says to the other, give them a little room and they start thinking they own everything under the sun. Nah, comes the other's gruff reply. That's just Ryan W. Bradley. Son of a bitch knows better. Thanks, guys. Okay, so I was trying to figure out how I was going to sort of promote this book and show this book. And the thing about the book is that it's a collaborative effort between a friend of mine and me who lives in Colorado. And what we did was we each took 2 lines. Everything's written 2 lines at a time. Themes kind of came out as we were writing. We didn't really discuss a whole lot of it. It was all pretty much dictated to us from somewhere, wherever poetry comes from. And what we ended up doing is we ended up publishing it, or artistically Decline Press did. And, well, let me back up. We wanted to edit the pieces when we were done. And so what we did is we both edited them separately. And we both kind of came up with the same thing, but a little different. Some lines were added, some things were taken, different format was given, things like this. And we were going to take the best of both, and we were going to sort of make one book with it. And what ended up happening is both had things on their own that were more interesting than putting them together would be. And so this is kind of presented almost like a bilingual book where you have my version on one side and his version on the other. And it's kind of an open-ended thing where in the end you get to sort of decide what the book is, what version is the book, who kind of got it right. So somebody called it the first confrontational chapbook. So. And in trying to figure out how exactly to do this, as Ryan lives in Colorado, he cannot be here, I thought, what better than to show a film that another friend of ours who lives in Belgium made for the book, which takes my voice. By the way, this book is also an audio book. So this guy from Belgium, he took some of my voice, some of Ryan's voice, made a short film out of those poems, and that's what I'm going to present to you. And then I'll read a few things, if that's cool with everybody. Do we have sound? You're muted, I think.
sink like totems into flesh. The name is mannequin on my lips. I am here. I have such plans for you. Paralyses and bone fragments hidden behind skin ceaselessly and ceasing. A vessel in which I play the hardened ghost, the moon in which I am the saw blade, turning on you like a wax or a wane. If you are the mandible, I am the mouth swallowed whole. I am the glint in the city's eye, recapturing a sense of how to crave the jungle.
Bellies up to the table and laughs. There's a story on those lips, waiting for the moment when smoke begins to rise from fangs of urban dusk. There's so much to be said for halves appearing the same, and just beneath the surface, no two bodies wither alike. Bones only know how different life is between the spells of rain.
Waking up to crossed fingers, slipping between the sheets, reading cracks in the ceiling again, gone absent in the tangle for days. From afar we note the sound of winter whistling through the trees, replacing the voice of summer that October swallowed whole. Young lions eviscerate drifters, chasing dragons for the taste of marrow left within passages of the letters we left behind. We are the blood we have spilled on the ground of our mothers, or the hours we left for dead on the back seats of our fathers' cars. Tonight, we are awake as if for the very first time.
You are jaguar. Your blood is rare. Your teeth sink like totems into flesh, into my lips and paralyses. Bone fragments hid behind my skin for eternities. Ceaselessly, the vessel in which I play, the hardened ghost, the moon in which I am the saw blade, turning on you like a wax or wane. I am the look in love's eye, remembering how to crave the jungle.